Quick disclaimer, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing here should be considered financial advice. Always do your own research and understand the risks before investing.
Alright, welcome back to another Ethereum update. Pretty much been sideways for the past couple of days, just with the weekend and market close today for President's Day. Really quickly, nothing too crazy with Ethereum at the moment. Very similar to Bitcoin. If you haven't seen some of our Bitcoin shorter term updates and longer term updates, be sure to check those out. But with the market just kind of being sideways, we had a little bit of a reaction today, but it's only a 3-wave move so far. So with that would be a good idea just to update some other coins as well. So really quickly, similar to Bitcoin, we are tracking a larger degree A, B, C corrective move to the downside, where this A wave could have possibly bottomed here around 1700 for Ethereum. It's totally possible that we do get one more low and we do break below that and possibly target some of those lower support areas, where we can even target this zone back here of the April low between 1400 and 1600 as well for Ethereum, if this A wave did not bottom. But assuming that this A wave bottomed, we could be in the early stages of this B wave to the upside, where B waves, like we always say, they're pretty tricky to track, but a good estimate, not guaranteed obviously, but maybe we can test some of these range movements from from November to January between 2,600 and 3,400 more or less. So it's totally possible that we just form a larger 1, 2, 3 wave move. Maybe we test those January movements and then we can get rejected from this resistance zone and start that C wave. Otherwise, if we did not bottom yet in the A wave, obviously the lower this A wave goes, the lower this support zone gets adjusted as well. So it's totally possible this could just be in this A wave. So for example, it could be an A, B, C wave to the downside, and this C wave, maybe it could be something, assuming the A wave didn't bottom, but 1, 2, 3, and then this could be all a 4th wave, and then we get a 5th wave to the downside before we start that B wave, if this A wave already did not bottom. So if we break below this swing low at 1700, 740 more or less, then it's more than likely that this A wave did not bottom and we are going for another low to test those April lows. If this A wave did bottom, then, which is what we're tracking for right now as a more probable scenario, but obviously it can always change and it is never guaranteed. But what we would like to see is, so far we could have had a 1, 2, 3 wave move up in an A wave, 1, 2, 3 wave move in a B wave, and now we could be in the start of the C wave in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move up, where that would create a larger degree 1, 2, 3 wave move in an A wave, and then we could get that larger degree B wave and then a C wave up before we can get rejected and start heading lower in that larger degree C wave. So that is what could possibly play out. Obviously with B waves, it's totally possible that we could just have a 1, 2, 3 setup, test the very early of this resistance and then get rejected. And it's even possible that Ethereum could even get a larger degree move to the upside and still get rejected as well. Even with B waves, they can sometimes overshoot. So what if we go past the resistance zone and then we get rejected? That can totally happen with a B wave. Now, what we would be tracking is 3 wave movements in this B wave. So that's kind of what we want to see. Because this move, we've had such a long sell-off, this could just be a choppy move to the upside before we get rejected. So back in November and January, we had these choppy movements, up, down, up, down, up, down, before we got rejected. So it could be possible that we do something like that. Maybe we test some of these previous lows higher, chop, chop, and then we get rejected. That's totally possible as well. So far with this move that we have had recently, just because we have had a small reaction so far right now, so far it's only a 3 wave move. What we want to see is a more impulsive 3rd wave maybe we can test some of these swing highs, hold a fourth wave and a fifth wave up. That is something what we would want to see, and then that could create a larger degree A, B, C, an A wave, B wave correction for a 1-2 setup, and then we could get that third wave for a total of an A wave. That is kind of what we are watching for right now. We're going to see, are we going to get rejected? It's also possible that we can go for another low and that this was not the bottom here, so it's totally possible we could just go for another low from here and then we can bounce off there as well. But we have to take it level by level and see what price action does, and not guaranteed, but it could be possible that with this trading week coming up, we could definitely have an answer very soon for what could be playing out, just because we've had so much sideways action. Typically with fourth waves, they can be this sideways action like this before they go lower, but even in these corrective B wave moves, after we've had such a large sell-off and we're trying to go the opposite trend, even though it's a B wave bounce, we can still have a very choppy movement like this before we get rejected and head lower. So to me, obviously nothing is guaranteed, but I mean really anything can play out. And just with this B waves, even though it's choppy and boring, I mean this is what a B wave could be. I mean it could be something like that, so something that you need to be prepared for, and this could be the early stages of that B wave. But yeah, we'll kind of have to wait and see for what the market will do. Otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much everything for this video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.